Hello everyone, welcome to my Saturday live stream where we're going to talk about open source and all that cool stuff. So, what are we going to do today? I have a few ideas, and then I thought we could see what ideas and what projects you're working on, and we can look into those. If you want me to review your open source project, let me mute myself because that is going to go coming through. We don't want that. Okay, fine. I've got my Stream Deck set up. I've tweaked it. I was able to tweet to Twitter. That's where you tweet to. And able to say that here's a link to the live stream. I've done that. So I've got all my gear set up. So hopefully it's good. And hopefully the sound and video and sound, all works well. Tanya, thank you very much for joining. It is Saturday and we are streaming on a Saturday. And the reason we're streaming on a Saturday is because you can't see, but on my desk here, I have a whole load of tasks I have to do today. And I thought I'd share it with you. In fact, I can even, if I click this button on the Stream Deck, and show you my desktop, you can see this is kind of my startup, my open source startup, and these are some of the tasks that I have to do, review some PRs, work on some tickets myself, and I've got a few other things as well. So I'm not sure if you're all aware, but I also started another channel last week with a friend of mine, Andrew, called Code Mortals, and I've got some PRs to review. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. I got some PRs to review on that project as well. So I'd be keen to get your feedback as well. And also, I got a mascot made for Dashboard Hub, and I'm keen to add to the assets repo, which if I just shuffle along here and see, add it to there. So if anyone wants to use the mascot, let me scroll down. Assets is down here. At the moment, it will just be the logos. So if I scroll down here, you can see the colors that we use and the logo. But I want to add the mascot to this page as well. So obviously the white one we can't see. So that's the idea. But what are you all working on this Saturday, or what are you doing? You're relaxing in the sun. We had rain this morning in the UK. It's a bit sunnier this afternoon. So hopefully you're having a good weekend. You're finding time to relax, and you're also finding time to do some open source coding. But do let me know how the sound is. So Tanya, if you're still about, how is the audio and visual? So let's get started, right? Let's just get straight in. So if I switch back to my desktop, you don't need to see me. I didn't shave, so I didn't make an effort today. My usual cap on backwards though, and it is a Linux Tux cap. I don't know if you can see behind me. I have my usual GitHub cushion. Hopefully it will focus on that. You can see kind of my code cushion, my Microsoft little person thingamajig that I got at serverless conference. The Android, you can just about see Android and code in the other tux. So yes, my usual crew helping me do my coding. So it's good. Thank you, Tanya, for the feedback. That's awesome. So let's see, what should we do first on the list? First on my list is from Chenga. Chenga works with me on Dashboard Hub, and she has said she needs access to the mascot, and I need to add it to this asset repo. So let me do that first, and then I must review a pull request on Dashboard Hub's main project that I've been putting off for a week because it's a lot of serverless functions. So they are serverless functions, but on Firebase functions, and I don't know too much about those. So to review something I don't know too much about, I'm going to be slow in going through that. You'll see me struggle, you'll see me figure it out, but that's dev life, right? So let's do it. Let's see, what have we got? So let me clone this repo locally. I'm pretty sure I have it, but if not, I need to update it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the binaries to the file, to the repo, I should say, and then add it to here as well. Thanks, Kush. Kush is another open source contributor to Dashboard Hub, so thank you for all your hard work, Kush. She's actually working on a monitoring part of Dashboard Hub at the moment. And if she gets a PR up during the stream, I might be able to go through that with you on the stream and we can review it. She does lots of great work. She works really hard, so definitely follow her on the socials. Connor. Amadine, thanks for joining. I know you did a live stream this morning. It looked really awesome. I only got the second half of your live stream. I look forward to catching up to the first half, but it looked really good. So it looks like your live streams are going from strength to strength. So anyone else interested in startup and entrepreneurship, definitely follow Amadine on all the socials. Amadine, feel free to paste a link in. YouTube will block it, but then I'll approve it. And I'm more than happy to give a shout out to the rest of the community. You all help me out all the time as well. So hey Connor, how you doing? I haven't been on in a while. I'm busy trying to learn Flask at my coding bootcamp. How are you? Audio is good, by the way. Glad audio is good. Thanks for confirming. I do always worry, especially when I kind of tweak my setup and all the rest. Flask. How is Flask? I haven't actually done Flask. I haven't looked into it. I know a lot of people are going kind of crazy over it, a bit like when Go came out or Rust as well. So I'll be really interested to hear how you're getting on with that. What sort of things are you building? Anything open source we can take a peek and look at. So yes, Amadine, are you being too shy to share your link? You're going to make me go on YouTube and find your link and share it. Wait a second, let me find it. Amadine, I think it's under your name, right? Or is it Entrepreneurs Playing Games on YouTube? Let me see. It's on Twitch as well. And it's also on Facebook Live. Amadine streams everywhere. So I've found it. So you don't need to post it, Amadine. I've got it now. So I'm sharing this now. Everyone, Amadine has 38 subscribers on YouTube. Let's make it 50. Come on, that's our goal for today. And also on, I'll dig out the Code Mortals one. Let me, I have a button on my Stream Deck for Code Mortals. Let's just see if it works. It might not. I programmed it this morning. I say programmed it. I kind of clicked on a few things and copied and pasted some stuff. Let's find out. So I'm not typing on the keyboard. I'm just going to press the Stream Deck button. Code Mortals. It should share a link in the chat, and nothing has come up, so it probably didn't work. Oh, it's got a green tick in the actual Stream Deck board. So I'm guessing something is going to happen. Something's gone in. Subscribe to my other channel, Code Mortals, with Andrew for more coding fun. That's what I put. So yes, it works. Can you just click on the link and check it also works as well? Thanks, Kush. Love your support. I love the tech community. Everyone is so supportive, be it on open source projects, be it on live streaming, be it on social media. I think it's great. I think we're such a good community, and we should encourage more people to join our community. That's what I do. I was actually at an event on Thursday, and there were lots of people changing from other industries, from marketing, from sales, accounting into tech, and I thought it was brilliant. So without further ado, let's get a bit of work done. So let me bring my terminal over here. Actually, let me create a new terminal. I'm just looking at my third screen over there. So I've got one, I've got two, and I've kind of got three screens over there, and a huge one up top. But I used to have a camera behind me that used to show you all my screens, but I didn't set that up. I don't know if that's really interesting. If it is, let me know. I can set that up for next time. So let me go back to the beginning. So this is called Assets. Hopefully I have it already. I do have it already. How's the font size on the terminal? Can everyone read that? Let me know. Oh, I can't spell. Hopefully that font size is okay. So I'm in this repo, and let me just pull it down. I probably have the latest ones because it's usually me who makes changes to this, but let's just double check. Oh, okay. There are some local changes. There are lots of local changes. I don't remember making these. Do I need them? I have no idea. This is really bad. Don't do what I do. If you're working on something and you're going to leave it, then probably best thing to do is either commit it or kind of get rid of it, because I've done this a long time ago. If I list the files in this directory, and when were those files changed with the question marks? So we've got header.jpg. So header.jpg is here. It was done in February. So in February I worked on this project, and you're not able to read that. Okay, let me make it bigger. Thank you very much for that. That's great feedback. How's that? Does that look better? Hopefully. Make the font bigger, please. Sure will do, Tanya. Just made it slightly bigger, so thanks for the feedback. Hopefully that's better. Can make it one bigger still. Wow, I turned the resolution on my screen down like so much as well, so I was hoping it would be okay. But is it because the video is it grainy, or is it just too small? I should actually open it on. Let me open it on my other screen and have a quick look myself on the live stream. Okay, so hopefully that's okay. It does look a bit bigger now as well. Let me know what you think. Hopefully that's fine now. Hopefully it's okay now. Let me know if not. So let me start again from the beginning. So let's just clear that and reset. So what I did is I tried to pull the project. So I did a git pull, and I typed in my SSH key, and I just spelt it wrong. That's not a good start. Let me move my keyboard around slightly. And it says error, you've got things that will be changed. So I thought, oh really? Okay. Haven't worked on this project in a while. Cool, thanks for confirming it's better. Great to hear. So I did a git status and I'm like, oh, I've got all these files. I've got one file that's been modified and I've got, which is the logo horizontal standard. And I've got all these files underneath that are untracked by Git. And I thought, wait a second, how long ago did I do this? So I listed the files. And I picked one, like for example, the header JPEG, which was from up here, which was a new file because it's got the 2 question marks. And I did it on the 12th of February. I really have no idea what I was doing last week, let alone the 12th of February. So what do? Do I commit it? Do I change it? Let's have a look and see what it was. So let's just clear that again. And let's just do a git status and let's have a look if I want these files. So the SVG has changed. You can do a diff on the SVG, but I'm guessing it's going to look pretty awful. But let's just have a look, see if anything obvious stands out. And let's see. Doesn't look anything too... Rodrigo, thanks for joining. How's it going? I'm really new here in this channel. Big shout out from Argentina. Yes, great idea. Shout out from where you're from. So I know I've got Kush from India, Tanya from London. Who else do we have? Amadine from London, me from just outside London. Who else do we have from here? I mean, it'd be great to hear where you're all from. Everyone knows I travel around the world lots for hackathons and conferences, so you never know, if I come to your country, I'd love to go to a hackathon or tech event and a conference at your country, or you can join me or I can join you. So yeah, definitely give me a shout out. Argentina sounds awesome. Never been before, but I hear it's brilliant. What are you working on this weekend, Rodrigo? It'd be interesting to know. Are you doing any open source work? I'm just trying to sort out let me show you actually. Let me show you my new, our new mascot for Dashboard Hub, my startup, my open source startup. And I can show it to you and you can see what you think. And I want to put it in the assets repo so it's available for people, for the rest of the team and everyone else to use. So if I just open it up on my other screen and I'm going to drag it over and hopefully you'll be able to see. So I have quite a few mascots actually. So let me bring them over. This is not the main one. This was the first one that we did. There's been some tweaks. Oh, that's quite big. Let me make that smaller. So our mascot is called Dash, and Dashboard Hub logo on the hoodie, open source logo on the iPad. However, I don't like the hand, so we changed that. So I probably won't use this mascot too much. So and then there's a t-shirt version. And then here's the kind of fun one. Again, we changed the tongue, so you'll see this one kind of repeat in a second, but with the tongue slightly different. I'm just going to include all of them in the GitHub repo because they all can be used. There's nothing wrong with them. This is the one with the t-shirt. I think this is the kind of a cute one. This is me when I kind of get stuck. So just before the live stream, Kush was asking me. We're talking about RxJS and debounce and so on. And I had this idea that I wanted to do something. When you click a button, you debounce it for a certain amount of time. But I hadn't done it before. It was just an idea. I read that it was a good idea. I've seen people do it with directives as well. But it just seems really overkill for now. So we're not doing that. But this is kind of, I don't know, this makes me think of me when I think I've got an idea, but I don't know how to do it. So that's dev life, right? Even after 15 years, it's still the same. Thanks for the feedback on the mascot, Kush. It took quite a few weeks to finalize this, and so I think we're happy with the final product, and it's great. This is the first time we're actually showing it to people, so it's great to get feedback. We will get into some coding soon. This is kind of, I thought, a funny one. Next to the green arrow, I could put some text, like for Instagram or for a big poster at an event or something, and say something like, I don't know, this way to open source, I don't know, something like that. There's the t-shirt version. And this is my favorite. Again, the tongue, we have another version of this where the tongue has changed, but I love this one. This is me in the morning, kind of, 5 a.m. and just kind of get up, ready to code, ready to do some open source coding. So this is one of my favorite ones. That's the t-shirt. I'm usually wearing a hoodie because it's usually quite hot. So kind of the cool version, dark, everyone likes a dark theme in VS Code and all the rest. So this is kind of the dark version. And what do you think of this one? This is not me in the morning needing coffee. However, this is me kind of in the afternoon. So people who know me know that I'm a morning person. This is the main mascot. This is the main pose that we'll use more. I think with the thumbs up, because I always do the thumbs up. And it's got the hoodie with the Dashboard Hub logo, although I'm wearing my, I don't know if you can see, kind of my YouTube t-shirt. And it's got the open source logo on the iPad. Sounds good. This weekend I'll be developing a web app using GraphQL and React. Awesome. Will it be open source? Can you share a link? Can we see it and take a look? I haven't done GraphQL. I've played with it years ago when it first came out, but just for like a day or 2 days at a hackathon. I haven't really used it, so I'm interested to see more about that. So feel free to, if it's an open source project, feel free to share a link to the code and we'll just have a look through, maybe ask you some questions. Just to get something straight, I have been in the industry for 15 years. I think I know quite a lot, but I do not know everything and I'm still learning every day. The t-shirt version, there's a bit of a glow on the iPad. Yeah, as the tongue's a bit different. If you see, the tongue's kind of made to look less like a sausage and more like a tongue. And there's the t-shirt version, and then same with this one. You've seen it before, but the tongue has slightly changed. Right, okay, enough of those. That's all of them. That's all of them, and that's the colors. But we need to add this to the repo. So my issue now is, what do I do with the changes that I had? So don't make this mistake that I did, which is, let me just exit this. Have a repo, anyone who's just joined, have a repo, not touch it for ages. You have unchanged files that you changed in February. Eddie, we're in July, okay? February, how many months is that? That's like March, April, May, June. That's like 5 months I did this work. And I don't know if I want to keep it or not. So do I throw it away and then lose that work that I did back then? I don't know if I spent 10 minutes on this or spent a week on this. That's really, really stupid. I should have just committed it if I wanted to keep it. My question, how do you stay motivated on developing every day? Really good question, and I get that asked quite a lot, and I see other people get asked it as well, and it's always interesting to hear. So anyone watching, please put your answers and your thoughts to Rodrigo, hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right, what you think to keep you, what you do and what you think to keep you motivated. So for me, the community, the open source community, the tech community is what really keeps me motivated. So to give you an example, I worked in London on Monday and Wednesday, and I worked from home on Tuesday. And then Thursday and Friday of this week was working on my startup Dashboard Hub. However, there was a tech event on Thursday that I got invited to that looked really interesting, really good. And I was thinking, do I travel into London 2 hours to go to a tech event that's probably 2-3 hours, record it, film it, and I want to share it on my YouTube channel in the next couple of weeks. And there will be another video coming out today from an event I went to about a month ago. And maybe not today, maybe tomorrow I need to record an intro for that video. But just go, so it was in the evening, I was quite tired. Once I was at the event for 2-3 hours, I recorded, I have to pack up all my equipment, download when I get home, 2-hour commute back home, download all the footage, like 0.5 terabyte of videos, and then maybe 100 gigs of photos from both cameras combined. And it's quite tiring, but speaking to those people, speaking to you people now, like all of you, just, asking these questions, how do you keep motivated? Motivates me because I want to answer the question. I want to do some more open source work. I want to move my startup along. So I think getting involved a lot in the community, no matter how it is. And by getting involved, I don't just mean coding. Contributing to open source, contributing to code, contributing to the community is not just about coding. There is so much more around that. Look at me, I'm doing an assets repo for my new mascot. There is working with the designer for the mascot, working with the Dashboard Hub team to see if, what thoughts they have on the mascot, getting some feedback, reviewing pull requests on this project and on other projects, which I'm going to show you afterwards. I have literally 6 or 7 post-it notes just on my desk down here. I should actually switch to the bigger screen so you can see that. I can't see what you're seeing because I've closed it. There we go. So I've got like loads of post-its of things I want to kind of go through and show you. All tech and open source related, definitely open source. Everyone who knows me, even my clients who know me because I'm a consultant, everything's open source, and I'm always pushing that agenda. So hopefully that answers your question, Rodrigo. If not, just kind of keep firing questions at me. I'm hoping some of the community answer and see what they think. I'll be really interested to know what they do. I know Tanya works really hard, and it'd be interesting to know, what keeps her motivated as well. And Kush works super hard. I swear, this lady never sleeps. If I message her, like, I think it's 4 hours difference, 4.5 hours difference between London and in India. And yes, I message her like, I don't know, 10 at night, thinking 10 at night UK time, thinking I'm gonna get a reply the next morning. She replies then. I really hope your phone is on silent and it's not waking you up. And then the next morning I'm up quite early, heading into London, say 4 a.m. UK time, and I've already got messages, from Kush. She doesn't sleep. So I'd be really interested to know how people find that work-life balance. What advice can you provide for developers who want to start working as a freelancer? Build a personal brand, and that includes open source work. That really, really helps too. Jack, thanks for the videos, and thank you for thanking me for the videos. It's really great to get the feedback, so I really appreciate that. Don't forget to share the channel with your friends who you think might be interested. I'm always keen to get people into tech and into open source. I am inclusive. Everyone is welcome. So getting into freelancing is really hard, but once you kind of break into it and you get a rhythm and momentum, it is really good. I've been contracting or freelancing, however you want to call it, consulting. There are so many different words for it, but they're all kind of the same, for almost a decade now, and no, more than a decade, maybe just over 10 years, and I wouldn't change it for the world. So for the moment with my client, a really big client, since Christmas I've been working part-time, been doing 3 days a week for the client, and then 2 days a week on my startup, and then 2 days a week with family, but also doing my personal brand, my YouTube, my social media, my Instagram, going to events and filming it. And then that just kind of snowballs, and I get more work, and the more work I get and the more content I put out and I share transparently. I want to share my open source startup transparently with everybody, the struggles that I have as well as the successes. And then it just attracts more people, then I get more clients, and it just gets better and better. So to get started, I would say just get started and do it. If you can do it on the side as your main day job at the beginning, just to so you don't have any difficulty in financial situations, and then once you feel you're ready to make the switch and you've got a regular flow from your freelancing, then make the jump and do it full time. Or if you've got low outgoings, as in you're living at home or your other half can cover bills, then just do it. The more time you spend on it, the more you'll get back from it. It's just like investing. I'm not an investor, but I hear people like Gary Vee and all the other people online. The more you invest, the more you get back. So just keep investing more time in yourself. Thanks for your answer. I really appreciate your point of view, your different point of view. Yeah, get different points of view. Don't just ask me, ask other people who have done it differently. I think it's really important. It's like when people say, oh, Eddie, I really want a mentor. And I'm like, well, don't just get one mentor, get as many mentors as you can. I really believe everyone is my mentor. Everyone watching this stream now is my mentor. Everyone I met at the event on Thursdays is my mentor. Doesn't matter what level they're at or how many years experience they've got. They've all got a different point of view. And then just hearing that, you might not do it, but taking it on board and listening, you might think, actually, you know what? It puts things in a different perspective. And it's opened my eyes to a lot of things. So even people who are new to tech, even if they're considerably younger than me, have taught me so much. They give me a different point of view. Or someone who's new to tech but maybe had a different background before, again, gives me a different point of view. Or someone who's got more years experience than me, again, gives me a different point of view. So just get as many points of view as you can, get as many mentors as you can, and then you make the decision of which way you want to do it, or you can even combine some of the ideas. Thanks, Eddie, for appreciating it, but I do sleep 6 hours a day. Only 6 hours! That's not enough! I'm a baby, I need like 8, although I usually only get like 5 or 6 as well, but ideally 8. So yes, but without further ado, keep those questions coming, and everyone else, feel free to jump in and answer. I know Amadine works really hard as well. She goes to so many events, and so does, you all do, and I think it's great to do in the chat. Give yourself a shout out. I'm not, the chat is not just about me, it's about all of you. I really want to bring the community together. But without further ado, I want to go back to my desktop, and we're going to do some more coding. So I need to figure out what I was thinking back 5 months ago when I was making these changes. So what I probably suggest is if I just open some of these files in Finder. I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to Finder. I'm going to open some of these files, and let's just have a look what they look like, and I can see if I want to keep them. But in 5 months, if I haven't used them, then they're probably not needed. So the ones that are new is header. So what is header? I mean, let's just have a look. I have no idea. There's header. Yeah, I don't need to commit that. That's a kind of a stock photo that I got. So you know what? I want to use header less. So let's just delete header. I can do it on Finder, but I can also do it in the terminal. So let me show you. It's just rm, that file, boom, it's gone. So now if I do a git status, there's no question marks for that file. There's no nothing, no header. Header's gone. So let's keep working our way down. I'm really curious about this M though. What did I modify about this SVG? The good thing is with Git, it will track. It's not SVG is not a binary file, right? It's XML, so we can track the changes. So if I do commit that and save that, I can always revert it back to the previous one. It's the binary files that you can revert, but you can't see the diff. You can't see the difference. And I see from Slack, I have a PR on Dashboard Hub's open source project from Kush. So if she doesn't mind, maybe we'll review that shortly. And this was the PR that I was telling you we were having some discussions about. Do we use set timeout? Do we use debounce time and RxJS for the Angular project? We're doing Angular and Firebase, but it was for clicking of a button. We don't want people to every time you hit this button, a ping button, it will send a HTTP request to the server and time how long it took, check that the status code you were expecting was there, and eventually that will be on a cron and run every 60 minutes. But I wanted a manual button. So the manual button works. Kush has done it so that when you push the button, it does ping the server. But this ticket that she was working on, which I can show you on GitHub, it's completely open source. And we wanted to make sure that they can't just keep clicking away, click, and then just, do 100 pings at a server and, abuse the system. So we wanted a debounce for about 60 seconds, and we were talking about how to do this. And it was a really interesting chat because I read you could do it with RxJS with debounce, but I had never done it before. So we can review that PR in a bit. Let me just get this sorted because for Chenga, another lady in Hungary on my team, she needs the mascot to share it on social and say the mascot name is Dash and all the rest. So let's see. What do we have? Okay, get back to coding. So the next one, icon orange 1216 by 1160. What is that about? Why is that not committed? I'm guessing that's just a different size of the icon. I don't think it's included in the README. So if I open this, I guess index.html, because I've made a README and an index.html, so people can get a list of as if I scroll down, people can get a list of kind of what it is with links to the CDN. I think that CDN is still alive. I don't think I've moved it. Yes, it is. So if that new one is got a question mark, it means it's not hosted on GitHub, and it means I'm probably not using it. So I'm just going to ditch it again. I can always recreate it from the SVG anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So gone. Next one, logo horizontal gray. Logo horizontal, I don't see it. Logo horizontal gray. This apparently, just ditch it. I don't think we need it. Let's be ruthless, right? So next one along. Rodrigo, do you have channels to communicate with you, like Slack or Discord maybe? I do have a private Slack for my core team who contribute to Dashboard Hub. We have started a Slack channel for Code Mortals. I'm going to hit my Stream Deck button again, and it should put a message in the chat for a link to that YouTube channel, and that's open Slack channel. However, I really don't like private messages. I really, really don't, because your questions are really important to me, but I believe other people have the same questions as well. So by you sending it to me privately, I can't scale. As in, if I get the same question asked 100 times, then I can't answer it 100 times. I only have 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, just like everybody else, and I'm trying to do so much. So I really believe if you want to ask a question, ask it in chat here now, or if or after the live stream, if you think of a question, ask it in a comment in the video. That will really help my YouTube stats. So that will help me, and I'm more than happy to reply as well. So it will also help other people because it becomes searchable in Google. If you're asking in Slack, there should be in the Code Mortal Slack channel, there should be a kind of a Q&A channel. If there isn't, we'll create one, and then again it helps other people. But the downside with Slack, with the open Slack for Code Mortals is that it doesn't keep a history, as in you will lose the history. So I honestly would prefer if you could ask in my video, in any of my videos, just go pick my latest video that open a new tab in addition to this live stream, and just pick my latest video before this and just put a comment in and ask the question there. That, again, like I said, that will help my channel grow, and I'm more than happy to answer, and it also help other people in the community when they discover the question. I'm sure they've got the same question as well. So what else have we got? So let me just do a git status and see what we've got left. So we have 8.13 Facebook. So I've made a Facebook size version of this. Okay, let's have a look. Probably don't need to keep that either. I could order this date modifier, so it should be somewhere near the top. Facebook. Again, it's just a Facebook size one. You know what? Let's just ditch it. If I haven't committed it, I don't need it. Let's just be ruthless, right? If you got code in your project and you're not sure if you're using it, just remove it. You've always got it in the history. SVG logo horizontal white. I think I need that because I think it's a different SVG than this one down here. I think I need as well too, because the standard SVG, or not that one, that's different. Horizontal SVG is gray. That's a small one. So that's PNG. What am I doing? It's been a long week. What am I doing? So let's have a look. We have another SVG. So white, orange, and that's vertical, so that doesn't count. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna keep that one. ESP I just created from the SVG. So you know what? I wanna ditch that. Vertical standard SVG. We did have a quick look at that. Oh no, vertical. This one up here, and yes, we did have a look at that. So I think we should keep that too. So now, and the logo.esp, we don't need either. I generated that from, I don't remember much, but I generated that from the SVG. So yes, but keep those questions coming, and I'll try and answer and try and help. And thank you for pairing with me on my open source coding that I do this weekend. I don't know why I do it privately. I do this all the time. So much open source work with my startup, with other projects, that I should just live stream it more. I mean, what do you think? Do you enjoy kind of pairing with me? Sometimes, yes, it is more involved. So if I bring up another tab and show you what I'm going to do later. So later on, this is my my startup, Dashboard Hub, and Kush did create a pull request. Sorry, Kush, putting you on the spot here. I do have these other two pull requests as well from a guy in Ukraine called Misha, I think it's pronounced. And I've got to review these. And these are really hard for me to review because he's done some great work on some cloud functions on Google Firebase. And I'm not sure how to kind of really look into it. And I know how to look into it, but, you know, to test it and all the rest. So that's going to be interesting. And then we've got Kush's one up here. So we will have a quick look. Not now, we'll come back to it, but you can see she's done some great work here. And we will have a look and we will test it all live. I'm going to do it anyway. I might as well share it with you, right? Hopefully it's fun and interesting for you all. So I'll come back to that. Let's focus on this one first. So I just need to get these assets sorted. I have got a list, I've got an order. Dashboard Hub assets in the repo. So Chenga from Hungary can put it out on social and do all that business and marketing stuff. And then we'll start reviewing PRs on the project. So let me know. Let me know what part interests you the most, actually. And again, don't forget to fire your questions. So what I'm going to do, go get status. Let's have a look. Get status. And I'm going to add these. I want to keep these. So if I add those to the project, you will see now that they've gone green. So I don't know if any of you have noticed, and you probably know this already, but there's two kind of columns. So when there was a question mark along here, there's actually a left question mark and a right question mark. And question marks always appear kind of on the left and the right. Well, as far as I have seen, Git is enormous and I don't claim to know all of it. But what I would like to explain is that if it's in the right column, it means it's unstaged. And if it's in the left column, as you can see down here, now it's gone MAA. So M means modified, A means added, but it's in the left column, it means it's staged. And if you like my terminal, I'm using ZSH, it tells me what branch I'm in, and it kind of colors my terminal quite nicely. So, yes, I want to add these to the project, but I do want to add them to the README. So let's open VS Code and let's add them to the README so people can find them. Is this the right project? It is. Let's remove outline. I don't need this. So let me just, what have I done here? Okay, let me close this. Sorry, I've got too many screens, too many screens. Right, close this as well. Okay, so what I was gonna do, I've already forgotten, which is not great. Yes, I was gonna create Open VS Code, and I wanna add it to the README so I can add some more images. So the images that we did add, and Kush taught me this recently, in VS Code, I use the command line for everything. I'm a command line junkie, but in VS Code, you can look here and it shows you. You've got an M and an A. And then if you click on stuff, that's an A, so you wouldn't see a diff, but you would, okay, that's an M, so we can see a diff on what's changed. So again, I don't know why I've changed this. Oh, I think I changed the background on it. That's why I changed it on the SVG. That's really useful. I usually do it on the command line, which you can just do with, kind of git diff and specify a file if you want, or just do a diff on all of it. But they're staged, so you would have to say, I want a diff on the stage ones, which look like that. But I think in the VS Code, it looks a lot nicer. So we've added 2 SVGs, a white one and a standard one. So I think we'll go to the SVG section on here. So you've got horizontal, standard colors. Oh, God, I'm so bad at this. This is just Markdown, by the way. If you have any questions on Markdown, do jump in and ask. So yeah, this is just Markdown. And I'm going to get this committed. Then we're going to add the mascot to it too. So let's have a look. I don't know where to add it. Just add it to the bottom. But it kind of... I've got the QR code as well for Dashboard Hub. I want it to kind of be, this is icon only, so let's look in the sections. Vertical, so we've got horizontal and we've got vertical. So here's the vertical one, standard colors. That's a standard as well, but that's a PNG. That's large, right? Okay, so that's not SVG. Do I have an SVG section? SVG. So only for, so the horizontal standard colors, SVG, logo horizontal standard colors. Oh, it's white. Okay, that's why. Okay, so let me just, I think let's put it underneath. What do you think? I want to put a resource. I don't know what the resource would be. We can figure it out. We're smart people. We can figure it out between us. So they got small, and I want to just put it probably just underneath there. SVG, horizontal. It's not standard. It's white. It's large, and it's going to be Dashboard Hub, horizontal, white logo. And then, oh, am I changing the right one? I am changing the right one. You can see the green bar on the left, so you can see kind of what you're changing. And let's have a look. So it's not a PNG. I should probably put it just under the SVG. Let me undo that. Let me skip that. Right. See, we all make mistakes. I'm just going to put it straight under here because I just realized that the SVG, I'll put that as white and I'll put that as standard. And then here in the white one, I will just go white. And then we'll do the same for the verticals. This is horizontal. And then there's a vertical section. There's no SVG for the vertical section, so we will add it. I will copy one of these. We will get into some coding soon, don't worry. Vertical, let's just add it right at the top here. SVG, and we've called it, the file is vertical, STD, right, standard. Which sounds kind of dodgy as well for all you dirty people out there. Right, so you know what? That's in the README. We should probably add it to the index.html because that kind of deploys out to, I think, GitHub Pages or S3 on, let me see, we can check. S3 on CloudFront. Okay, so it deploys out to S3 on CloudFront. Kush, you can stage and commit from VS Code as well. Okay. What does this do? Open a file. Unstage. Okay. Oh, yes, you can see now this is unstaged. So I'm guessing this would be to stage it. Thanks, Kush. See, I love this stuff. We're all learning. Everyone can learn from everyone, and everyone is your mentor. And have an open mind. So that's awesome. So thank you very much. I'm going to be using this a lot more because, yeah, it's quicker and easier than the command line. And I can show this to people as well because, showing them the command line's a bit daunting. Let me go back to the files. Let me just get index.html. Oh, it just has the logo, so ignore index.html. That's good, let's commit it. I'm going to commit it from the command line because, I don't know, can I commit it from here? How will it work with my SSH key? Will that work, Kush? Should I try it? Message, press enter to commit. I usually do commit conventions, which Angular do, which is like feature, would be logo, and then you'd be the ticket number and all the rest. But for this assets project, I'm a bit more relaxed. I'm not creating change logs from the commit messages. So I will just do added. Not added. They're going to see that from the commit. You'll see A and A and A. That's just silly. White. No. Horizontal. I did horizontal standard and horizontal white and vertical standards. Horizontal white and vertical standard SVGs added. SVG, I should put that in capital so it stands out a bit more. SVGs. Enter. That didn't work. Enter. That didn't work. What does this do? Commit. What's this do? Pull basic commit. It's going to work. It's going to work. Seems to have worked. So if I go to git log here, I'm guessing it has done it. Yep. Will it be signed is the question, because I do sign my commits. So I'd be interested to know if it signs it. Let's just try it. Let's push it up and see. So push. Let's have a look. Permission denied. Let's have a look. Updates I'll do later. Yeah, I'm guessing it's because of my keys. I might need to configure it because of my SSH keys. I'll just do it on the command line. So all I need to do is go git push. Just git push. Master's the default branch. I'm not doing PRs in this branch. Oh, did my password wrong. Password 123. How can you spell that wrong? Rejected. That means I've got changes that I didn't pull down yet. I'm still making mistakes. It's Saturday. I guess I'm allowed to make mistakes. Git pull. Please don't have conflicts. Please don't have conflicts. Please don't have conflicts. Conflicts! Eddie, you're an idiot. So, not only did I make changes 5 months ago and not commit them, I've now decided what I wanted to keep, and I didn't pull down the latest changes that I made maybe from my laptop or another computer, or even just in the browser on GitHub. I changes now got conflicts. And the conflict is in an SVG file, which sucks. Like if it was in the README, fine, figure it out. This is gonna suck. Look, let's have a look. If it's gonna suck, let's have a look. Okay, where's the IDE gone? Okay, merge changes. Is this the conflicting one? It's got a C next to it, so it's conflicting. I'm scared to have a look. Oh, it's just white space. Okay, cool. Because no one wants to resolve like an SVG conflict. It doesn't make any sense. I think we're okay. So if I delete all of those, it's just white space, which is why you should always delete your white space. And any white spaces on the line, always delete it. So now if I do that and I preview the file, does it look okay or does it look stupid? Logo, or does it like not render? Logo, horizontal, white. Logo, horizontal, white. See, it's got errors. I didn't resolve the conflicts correctly. Or I did, but there's obviously something else wrong. What could it be? Line 29, it says extra content at the end of the line. I think I know what that is. So, oh, does it have no closing SVG tag? Wait a second. Oh. SVG? Oh, can't spell SVG. I think that's it, right? Because this G lines up with that G, and this SVG lines up with that SVG. I don't know how I bodged that up. Now it looks better. Okay, perfect. So I can do the commit here, but I can't do the push here. So if I'm going to add the conflicting file, everything is staged, merged, master into master. I hate those sorts of commits, but that's what, if it wasn't a conflict, that's what Git would have done. So merge master into master, which is kind of stupid. I don't know why it does that. And resolved conflicts. Okay, commit that. And hopefully now we can push it up and we can get more into some code. Let's have a look. So if I do a git status, should be nothing here. Do a git push. Let's do it. Hopefully it goes up. Bam! Yes. Okay, so now if I go to the GitHub repo, let me see if I go to the GitHub repo, and the last commit, okay, was 6th of June by this bot that I added. Ignore that for the moment. If I refresh it, it should update to be mine. Hopefully you can still see my screen. And yes, so that's mine. Perfect. And if I scroll down, there's some new files, which are from 4 minutes ago. README. What else have we got? this file here as well. Now, the more interesting part is if I scroll down to here, we should have some more SVGs somewhere. Yeah, SVG got added there. And also, oh yeah, look, it's put it on one line though, which kind of sucks, right? We need to change that. Does anyone want to get an open source contribution for today? You're welcome to fix that for me. I'm more than happy for you to raise a PR if you want the practice and you want the green tile. So if you look at my green tiles, I've got quite a few. But if you want your profile, here we go. If you want some more green tiles, feel free to fix that. So it's not major green, but it's fairly green. But if you want some more, you're welcome to, where is it? Lost it now. You're welcome to fix this for me because that will bug me. So I suggest we probably put that as bullet points. Do shout out in the chat if you want to do it, because if you won't, I'll do it. And then probably for the other SVG, I know it's only one, but we should probably put a bullet point on that to be consistent. Otherwise my OCD will go crazy. So, shall I do it or are you going to do it? Let me know in the chat. Say yes or say no. Let me know either way. Let's check that you're still awake. Let's have a look. So, let me see. I'm going to start doing it until I hear from someone. So these SVGs, if in Markdown, it is just a star or a hyphen. And it'll make a bullet point. And then the same down here, again, just to be consistent for the SVG. Save it. No one in the chat said yes. I am going to do it now then. So let's just do it. Reformatted SVG. Yes, you're doing it. Okay, I won't commit it. If you want to do it, you're more than welcome to. I want to include everybody. And if other people can also do it, and we'll just accept one of them, but it's still good practice to fork a project, raise a pull request, and yeah, all that kind of good stuff. So anyone else? So Kush, if you're doing it, thank you very much. I will undo my changes here, so when I put it down later, I won't get a conflict. While you're doing that, I can move on to the next thing on my list. So, mascot. We need to add mascots to this now. So, while you're doing that, I'm going to add the mascots to it. So, how am I going to do this? I need to create, I need to move the mascots into this folder. See, in hindsight, thinking about it, in this directory, I've got all these logos. Now I've got a mascot directory and all different styles of mascot. What I should probably do is create 2 folders in here. So, I could move that because I know Kush is going to make the change to the README, so I won't touch the README. I will just move the other files so we won't get conflict. So what I'll do is in here, if I list the files and I go make a directory logo, mkdir. Connor, whoa, I never knew that you could commit to Git from VS Code. That's awesome. You're doing it from the terminal. That's awesome tip. Yeah, exactly. So thank you, Kush. I have been doing it from the terminal as well. So it's really good just to have it in your IDE and rather than switching all over the place. So that's why I love these streams. Everyone's always learning, myself included, and everyone's contributing. And so if you are watching, don't be shy. Ask a question, or if you can answer a question, or if I answer it and you can answer it differently, then please give your point of view because that adds so much value. Okay, so I'm going to make a logo directory and then I'm going to move. Should I do it on the command line or should I do it on Finder? Finder might be easier. So now if I switch back to this, I'm going to move all the logo files. What's Git SVG? GitHub, sorry, SVG. I don't know what that is. Let's have a quick look. Let's open it up in VS Code. GitHub SVG. Definitely got something in there. I've created it with Sketch apparently. You know what? It's committed. I'll leave it for now. But I'm going to move all of the logos, which I think that must be a logo, into. I don't know why I'm doing it like that. You can do it like this. Instead of using Control, use Shift, and then I'll have to do the remaining ones. That's the QR code, so I'll leave that there. I want to move all the logos into the logo directory, and I can make a mascot directory as well. Gabrielle, hopefully I pronounced your name right. Hi AD, can you show your VS Code plugins again? Love your work. Thank you very much. Love the appreciation and feedback. It's always great to hear. Yes, let me just move this, and I'm going to go back to VS Code, and I can show you. I have actually created a VS Code plugin wrapper that wraps all the plugins that I use, but I have a confession to make. It is open source, of course, but my confession is haven't updated it in a while, so I might have some plugins in my IDE in VS Code that I haven't done yet. We could do that today too. Let me write that down, right? I'm going to write it down, pen and paper. We can even raise it. You know what? We can even raise an issue to update it, so I can update my plugin. But I also like to write it down because then I feel a bit more guilty. So I'm just going to say update. Well, I can't even read my own handwriting. That does say update. I spelled update wrong, but that's fine. Update VS Code plugin. And it's a plugin wrapper. It's not a plugin. You're able to wrap. You're able to read that. I can barely read that, but we'll create an issue for it. And that will remind me. So, so that way I can wrap all the plugins and you can use them as well. So let me just move this to the logo directory. And then I will probably want a QR code directory. QR code directory. I need to update the README with all these paths as well in a second. I'll do that. And then I'll do that in VS Code so you can see the plugins. And when I want to do, actually the mascot directory we can do in a second commit. So we'll do that. Let me go back to VS Code as well. Cool. So the plugins that I have, I think I can show you from here. Enabled. I don't know why I have that one enabled, but I do. Maybe it came with an update or something. I have lots of Angular ones because I do work with Angular. Why has I got a star on it? Extension is enabled locally. Okay. I have ASCII docs because I use a lot of ASCII docs. ASCII docs is like Markdown but on steroids, and it's freaking amazing. And you can use ASCII doc to build a website, to build a PDF. I mean, I've got books written in it. I think books. One. I can quickly show you. GitHub Eddie, and then this book I wrote in is written in ASCII docs using an ASCII doctor. It looks very much like Markdown, so the GitHub renders it as well. But if I go to the raw, you can this is a table. Tables are much nicer than Markdown tables because you kind of go vertically rather than horizontally, so you never run out of space. And you can do all sorts of things. But what it looks like is you can create a PDF, but you can also get a website out of it. And this is completely vanilla. It builds you the table of contents, so you can click to any section you want. So if we say, I don't know, pull requests, it jumps to that section. This website is generated. So if I scroll to the bottom, I have got a Spanish version and a Filipino version that aren't always quite up to date, so I do apologize with that. When CI deploys this, it gives me a version number, so each time I make a change, it automatically deploys to a new website, a new PDF, and I can download the PDF, or I can open it in the browser. And this is from the same code. And if I scroll through, you get table of contents, and you get the clicks, and you can click to the right sections and all the rest. And at the bottom, you should have, I thought you had a version number, but maybe I don't put the version number in the PDF, but I probably should if it's not here. But yes, so I can't remember how I got onto that, but oh yeah, that's that plugin, the ASCII docs plugin. I have raised a PR fixing the bullet points in the README. Awesome. We'll come back to that in 2 seconds, and we go through these plugin lists, and then we will review that PR. So thank you very much. Especially before I make any more changes so we don't have any conflicts. Auto close tag I have, which is quite good. So when you're doing HTML or XML, basically HTML or SVG stuff, and you do the angle bracket, angle bracket kind of / and you close the tag, it then it closes it for you. So that makes it a bit easier. Sometimes it's really annoying though as well. So it's kind of love-hate relationship with that. Auto imports, import stuff automatically. I think that's for TypeScript. Rename tag, when you rename the starting tag or the ending tag, then it will rename the other side of it, which is quite good. Cucumber, gherkin, syntax highlighting is good. It's not as good as it is on WebStorm or PHP Storm or on basically IntelliJ. It's not as good that you can't click through to it, which really sucks. But it's open source, so I shouldn't complain. I should actually make a contribution to it to make it better. Current file path, I love to know where I am, so I think it puts the path down here at the bottom, so it's really easy to see where it is. Debugger for Chrome, I don't really use that too much anymore because I don't make mistakes. I make so many mistakes. So yes, I should use that more. Linter Excel viewer, I don't know why I've got that. Firebase, yeah, the syntax rules for Firebase, which will show you in the next repo, the next project when we review those pull requests. You'll see that. Git Lens is really good. So when you click on things, it shows you kind of, On the right, you can see grayed out when it was last changed, and if you hover the line, it kind of tells you, what it was before, and just lots of sexy stuff. Git Lens is freaking amazing. I'd pay for that. That's really good. Import cost is quite good. Again, you won't see it here, but when you import in, say, your Angular project or any other project, it tells you the cost of the import. So if you're using, say, I don't know, Lodash, and you're bringing in the whole library rather than importing a small part of it, then it'll say, hey, you're bringing in 2 megs, and you're probably just using one little small function. So just be wary of that. Indent rainbow, you won't see it on here, but if I open one of the other files, you can see just indents with different colors, which is really, really useful. Again, you can see if things are lined up correctly. Where was I? Here we go. IntelliSense for CSS names. So when you've got CSS stuff, you can do that. Local history, I don't use it so much, but it's a lifesaver when you need it. So if you accidentally remove some code and you never committed it, so you haven't got that save point, it just keeps a local history of all your changes, which is really good. Hopefully it's interesting for people. If it's not, do say. What else do we have? Path IntelliSense, like autocomplete. Rainbow brackets, you can't see it in here, but when you're writing kind of brackets and then nested, it kind of colors them slightly differently. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see a slightly different color. So that's quite useful. Regex previewer, when you do regexes in your code, it will do a preview of the result within the page. It's quite useful. That's it, I'm at the bottom. So I've got a few other ones, VS Code icons, just to change the icons and so on. Again, I have a love-hate relationship with some of these icons. The directories kind of suck. Sometimes I'd rather it was nested in a little bit more, like indented more, so I could see that it's definitely under that folder. Sometimes I have to open close stuff to see, especially when you have lots of folders. So without further ado, let's review this PR. Let's do it. So ignore my page, we'll come back to that. We're on the assets, pull requests 1. Look at this pull request title. I love it. Absolutely love it. And if I click on it, and the commits as well are awesome. So that's really, really cool. So this is Angular material. They use these commit style messages. I usually use it for big projects. For my assets project, I don't commit to it that often, a couple of times a year, so I'm a bit more relaxed. But it's great that you've done it, Kush. Thank you very much. And then I can go to file changes and we can have a look. So it originally was, I did have the bullet points in there, but no space. So, no, it's minus, I think it's been removed rather than, it's not part of the file. So I had no bullet points, and Kush has added the bullet points, which is good. And she's done the same for that. And she's done the same for the icon because it's an SVG. Thank you very much. I didn't notice that. That's what I love about the community, love about open source. I made a suggestion, not only did it get fixed, it got improved, right? Adding so much value. We learned about VS Code, committing from VS Code. We've talked about my plugins, which I take for granted, and I need to update my open source plugin. I do have that somewhere. VS Code plugins. I have one somewhere. Is it under, that's Visual Studio, that's a different one. Let me see. What do I call it? Full stack, I think. I don't think it's Visual Studio Code. Wrong one. So I think I called my plugin Full Stack. Look at this famous person. JS Full Stack Extension, Eddie Jow. That's me. And it's got 507 downloads and 5 stars. But I think I paid a friend to give me 5 stars. I don't say paid. It's a joke. I didn't pay them, but. So these are the plugins that I do have in there. So you'll see some of mine in there that I mentioned, but I do have some more. So I do need to update this. So I'll leave that open so we can come back to that later and do it. But I can share a link if anyone does want that. Or if you've written any that's not the link I wanted to share. Can I delete that? Remove. That's a silly message. I want to share the URL. There we go. That's better. There we go. So if anyone wants to have a look, it's open source. Feel free to add any plugins that you think are useful, but we'll come back to that. So what we were doing, we were reviewing this PR. So it looks good. I'm really happy with it. So review changes, click up here, approve. And I might put a comment. I used to write, looks good to me. LGTM. Took me ages to figure out what that was. Let's merge it. Let's do it. It's going from Kush created a fork from her master to Dashboard Hub's master in the assets repo. Let's just do it. This is brilliant. Awesome. Boom! Merge. So now I must remember to pull down those changes so when I make any more changes, we don't get any conflicts. So we'll go back to the assets repo. Let me go back. I probably could do this from VS Code. No, I can't because I have an SSH key with a password. So I don't know. There must be a way to figure that out with VS Code, but I won't bore you and do that with you now. But we'll figure out how to do that. So I'll do it on the command line for now. So all I'm going to do is go git pull, and it shouldn't conflict with any of the changes that I've made because I didn't change the MD file. Perfect. So you can see it's come down. There's been 8 changes to the MD file. And if I do a status, you can see it says D. I've deleted all these files, but I've added them to logo. So they look like Ds at the moment because everything's unstaged. If I do a git add, it will say they've been moved because now it knows about the new location. So it goes, oh, it hasn't been deleted, it's been moved. If I do a status, you can see it's been renamed. But I must remember to rename it in the README, otherwise nothing will work. So I'll need to rename that to that. I wonder how my deployment will work. We have to check and see actually. If I go back to here, when I deploy, you can open terminal in VS Code. Another good point. You are the VS Code guru. So how do I open the terminal? Terminal, new terminal. There we go. Oh, yes, and the font looks a bit sexier down here. I've still got my ZSH kind of coloring where it says master branch and it's in red and all the rest, but the font looks really sexy. So let's just have a look. Yeah, that looks nice. That is much better. What do you think? What do you prefer, the main terminal or the VS Code terminal? Can you still read? The font size looks slightly smaller in the VS Code terminal. Can you still read it? Oh, and you can choose. Okay, so while we're doing that, let me update the README. I just want to double check that when it deploys it, does it deploy everything? So it's going to sync the entire directory, so it should nest it, so it should be fine. The only thing is, if I've got anything referencing these files, like on the website, it might break. But if it breaks, it breaks. We fix it. We've got CI, we've got CD, we can fix it fast. So that's fine. So let's do it. So in the README, I want to update anywhere where I've got a file to put, it's going to take me ages. Did not think this through. But with all the mascot, with maybe like 12 mascot files coming in, I don't want to mix them up with the logo. So I think it kind of makes sense. So resource logos.svg is now under the logo directory. So let me copy this and I can paste this into multiple places. So favicon is now under the logo directory. Resources, the resource for it on the CDN is under the logo directory. This one is it's all under the logo directories. I've literally moved everything. If you have a look, go back to Finder. For those who don't like the terminal, I've put everything under there, unless it's the QR code. I must remember to move the QR code ones. So that's logo. Then I could remove the word logo out of the file names, but I'm not going to bore you with that now. So logo. If I miss anything, let me know. I am terrible. That's why pair programming or try programming or however many people we've got on really helps. So logo. We're almost there. I think as you can see from the right, we're halfway down the page. So it's almost done. Not going to be boring for much longer, and we're going to get into some more juicier coding. So here we go. Hopefully this works. We can check it out once we push it up live, because I can't really test this locally too much. So let's have a look. Is there still icons? Haven't got to the QR codes yet, so we're okay. There we go. Right, QR code. So this is under, wrong way. The QR code director. If I just hit enter, copy. Oh, no, don't paste. Copy. Just because I'm lazy. And I paste that in there. And paste that in there. I don't like these names of these files. I did this many years ago. So if we go to here, it says I've changed all these, renamed all these files, and I've changed the README. So if we just add the README, and if as Kush has showed me before, if I double click this, it will show me what's changed, and I can just see that we're roughly happy with it. That's one of the plugins. You can see it highlights the hex to the color that it is. So that's really quite I find quite useful to see what the color is. So thanks to everyone who's given me the thumbs up. If you are watching and enjoying, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to subscribe. I've actually got a subscribe button there somewhere on my tweet deck. Let me do it. Subscribe. I pressed it. Something should come out in the chat in about 30 seconds. I've got a GitHub link. If you want to see more coding, like more hardcore Angular, what else do we do? Cucumber, Cypress testing coding, join our Code Mortals channel. I've just pressed that button in the stream deck. So that should come through in the chat in a second as well. But I'm happy with that. I'm not going to go through all that. I'm happy with that. Let's commit it. So moved logos to logo directory. Let's just commit that up. Oh, sorry, commit that locally, and then I can push that up because of my SSH key, as I mentioned before. So nothing's there, but if I remove the S, the summary, it will say my branch is ahead of origin master by 1. So let's just push that up and make sure that works before we add the mascot. Let's have a look. Thanks for subscribing, Kush. Really appreciate it. All the support really helps. It really does. My goal this year is to get to 10,000 subscribers. So I can go to the YouTube space in London, and I can then stream and film in the YouTube space. They have like green screen rooms, not even green screens, green rooms. They have London buses in the space, and you can go record. Imagine coding a London bus for the afternoon and live streaming it. So yeah, but you need 10,000 subscribers before you can go. So tell your friends. They don't have to watch my videos yet. I will encourage them to watch it, but yes, tell them to subscribe. That will really, really help. So now that I have pushed this up, if I refresh this page, you can see the structure has now changed. It looks a lot tidier. There's a logo directory and a QR code directory. And let's have a look. Let's just check some of these work. So the CDN might take a moment. So if I click this, I'm guessing it's going to fail because it's going to be deploying. So if I go to Travis, I haven't done this in ages, but I'm guessing it should be building it and deploying it. And it takes, I think, up to, there we go. And it takes 30 minutes, I think, for it to appear on AWS. So AWS S3, because I'm using CloudFront. So it will take some time. So we can leave that. We'll assume that works. Let's move now on to a mascot. So got this. Let's create a new directory. You can create it on the right by right-clicking, or you can do it in the command line. mkdir mascot. I think spelled like that. Cool. What other buttons do I have on the Stream Deck that I programmed? Shares. Oh, I've got a share button. Here we go. I've pressed that. I've got a help button. I've just pressed that as well. I can't remember what it does. The share button's got a tick. The help's got an exclamation mark. So the help button might not come through. I don't know. I'll press the help again. Let's see. Maybe YouTube thinks I'm spamming myself. I have no idea. I've got a tick. Should come through now. Let's have a look. Again, I wrote this morning, so I don't remember what they say. Right. Okay. Yes. So now I've got this mascot directory with nothing in it. So let's move the mascot to that directory. So let's have a look. Let me see. I've got to find where I put those mascot files. I can't remember. Let's have a look. Bear with me. I'm just looking at my other screen. I will move that over in a second. Mascot. Here we go. So here's the mascot. We're going to make a copy of that. I want to move it into this folder. I could do it on the command line, but you know, I'm lazy. I think I want to put all of these in. So you've got the PDF with the different colors. And then you've got the different, the AI file with all the different types of mascots, the hoodies and the t-shirts in different versions. And this one's number 2. Oh yeah, the tongue has changed on this one. That's all. It was a slight change. And then you've got the individual ones, which are PNGs. So I'm probably just going to add all of those. So let's do that now. I'm just going to copy it all over to here. Copy it over, and I can close this. Don't need this. So if I go up a directory, now mascot is full. So what we're going to do is, it's all in the mascot directory. I don't know if I want to list every single mascot in the README, because we'll be here all afternoon. What I'll probably do is just list the main one and just say there are others, do have a look. So let's have a look. Under QR code, I'll just put another section. 3 hashes means H3 effectively. So we'll say, should it be 3 or should it be 2? Where's the 2? Let's see what the equivalent 2 is further up. 2 Dashboard Hub logo, so it should be a 3 because it's going to be Dashboard Hub. Sorry, it should be 2. Sorry, because it's going to be Dashboard Hub mascot, And their name is Dash. The reason for Dash is because it's short for dashboard hub. And also dash means fast, it's a rabbit, I mean dash means quick, dash around. So that's why. I don't know if that's a British thing or not. Let me know what you think. But do jump in with your questions. The chat's too quiet. I'm getting, it's too quiet. I feel that I'm not giving enough support and help to you. So do jump in with questions. Give me suggestions of what I'm doing you can improve. Let me know. If you want me to look at your project, I can try and have a look. I know we've got a lot to cover today, but we'll figure something out. We'll get it all in. And if not, I can do more streams if you find this useful. So what we're going to do is, there was one file in the mascot that had all of them, I think, but it is a AI file which wouldn't load on GitHub. So what I might do is I might take a screenshot of that and then just load that up. Where would I? Yeah, I could just say all. I can just call it an all file. Here we go. So if I just take a screenshot of that, we can improve this in the future. SVG will probably be better, but for now it'll be fine. I need to move the screenshot over. So if I just go here and call that all, and then grab that from that screen all the way over. Oh, don't drop it the wrong place to there. Then that way I can go in here, I can just do an image. It is like so, and we'll say all mascots, and then we'll just put mascot / all .png. Then it should load it in the README, and we'll say all poses and vector files are in the mascot directory, and then people can go kind of have a look and see. Cool. Connor, there's a cool plugin in VS Code that lets you preview your README file locally with GitHub style called Markdown Preview. GitHub style that helped a lot to make sure the README worked before I committed it. Nice, let's get it. See, I love this stuff. There's so much out there in tech that you can't learn and know everything. So you just need your friends in the community to filter it all to you and help each other out. So let's have a look. Markdown. Markdown all-in-one, is that the one? Markdown Preview. Markdown Preview. This one I'm guessing, let's have a quick look. It appears on another tab, that's cool. What's the difference between Markdown all-in-one? I don't know about this one. This one looks just way overcomplicated, I don't need this. Good that you can preview the images in it though. I don't know, I think that's too much. I think the one you suggested is better. Markdown Preview, it says enhanced. I'm guessing it's this one. Does this look like the right one to you, where you can just see a preview? I think that's perfect. Let's just do that. Install. Oh, I have to reopen and close my IDE, which kind of sucks. Okay. While that's going, I think that's it. Let me commit that as well. So if I go to the commit tab, I've got the README updated. I've got all the mascots that I've added. And the all, which I'm actually using in the README. So mascot added to project, to asset project. Commit that. There is no stage to commit. Would you like to automatically stage? Oh yes, yes please. Stage and commit everything. Cool. And then if I do a git push, we should see it on GitHub shortly. And then if Travis CI, I use the GitHub styling one. Oh, there was another one. Did I click on the wrong one? The GitHub styling one. GitHub styling one. I installed this one. I don't see the GitHub styling one. Markdown GitHub. Oh, this one. Got you. Yeah, I probably want it to look this way it would look on GitHub. Rendered on GitHub, extend built-in preview. Okay, I'll leave that open and have a look in a second. Let's just check if it's all deployed. So now at the bottom of here, we have the QR code. If I refresh, we should have the mascot previewed as well. Yes! Team effort! Love it, everyone. Cool. So we have all the mascots, And if I go to the mascot directory, I should... Where's the mascot directory? Did I bust it? Oh, went to the wrong terminal. Did I not add the mascot directory? I thought I added it. Oh, we said it's not showing it. It should be gone. What have I done? What have I done? Refresh. Oh, it is there. Just didn't load the first time. Just a hiccup somewhere along the line. So if I go in the mascot directory, I've got all these images and I can see them. Perfecto. That's good. That's my... I should have created an issue for that. Let's just do it now. Mascot, no, add mascot. There we go. And I'm going to close it. That's really bad because my commit should have had the number 10 in it. So, okay, brilliant. So that is now done. Chenga, if you're watching, you have Ascot. You have access to all the mascots. I want to bin that. I've closed the ticket, as you can see. Let's move on to the next thing. What do we have next? So we have, what do you fancy doing? Do you fancy doing some Code Mortals PRs for the Code Mortals website, which Andrew did last week? It looks like, the website looks like this. This is the mascot we have. And we have some PRs for that. They're a bit more straightforward. Or should we look at, let's look at Kush's PR. It's going to be interesting. Let's see what people think. Okay. I'm making executive decision unless anyone else has any thoughts. But let's look into some real hardcore coding. You had a kind of a gentle ease into the coding of the afternoon, and now we're going to get more deeper into the harder stuff. So let's have a look. So this is another project on the Dashboard Hub. It's Pipeline Dashboard. It's the main project for Dashboard Hub. It is fully open source. Everything is open, and this is some great work that Kush has done. She's been helping me push forward the project. So what have we got? So we've got a monitor model. So what a monitor is someone can create a monitor that monitors their website. So if you've got a website on Heroku or Netlify or some of the other one, DigitalOcean, you can have Dashboard Hub monitor your site every 60 minutes, which we're working at the moment. It's not complete. So the idea was that you couldn't hit that manual ping button. So we will automate it every 60 minutes, but if you want to have something happen right now, you can go to your monitors section. You might have a homepage monitor. You might have contacts page monitor, and you can hit ping to do a manual ping. However, I didn't want people abusing it, going ping, 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 ping. So we've put in a debounce. I say we, Kush has put in a debounce. And we also wanted to, because we're going to get so many pings over the month, I wanted the monitor to store the latest ping. So I think she's done this in one PR. Is that correct, Kush? And then I will just update that to update the number. So update the ping function to store the latest ping and disable the ping button. Yeah, so she's done the two issues in one, but they're quite small, so that's fine. But let me just get the numbers for those actually. So here's our board. So this is 1359 and monitors to, I think that's a different one. Monitors to store ping aggregation, that's a different one. So 1359. So if I just edit this, so when we merge in the PR, this will also close the issue. 1359. Right, there we go. But I'm pretty sure we had the latest one. There was not a ticket for that. Aggregations was the numbers, but we can keep that open because that was more for the total number of pings rather than calculate that every time. So let's go have a look at this ticket. If you have any questions, do have a look. We're using Angular and Firebase for this. So this is in the functions directory. So this is the cloud functions in Firebase. So we are importing the ping model into if I expand this into the monitor model. So in the monitor, it has expected code, be it 200, effective status code effectively 200, 400, whatever it is. Expected text, but it's got a question mark there because it's optional. We've got method. We're only allowing get for the moment because if you do post, you need a body, you need extra work, keeping it simple. We're allowing people to name the monitor, like homepage or contact page. The path that you want to hit, so / home / contact, which is / and then it's got a UID that's auto generated. And now we've also got the latest ping. So every time a ping happens, be it a manual or automatic one, it will save it in here. I will show you the front end in a minute as well. It's only issue for 1359. Here are the 2 points needed to be done. Okay, thank you. Sorry. Kush is right. I try to do too many things at once and I get confused. So Kush keeps me on the, what do we say? On the straight and narrow. She makes sure that I get things done. I get things done basically. So, and then here we have the actual monitor function. So if let's open this out a bit bigger. So what this function here, what this one does is, actually does the ping function. So this is a diff, so this has been added. No, the lines was already there. Oh, I see, Kush, I think in the commit, you have, that space got removed again. I think it must be to do with your auto formatting. So what I can do, I can just put a comment in here, and there's actually 2 things that can be done here. This is really interesting. It's a new GitHub feature I want to show you. So I want to put a comment in. let me put a comment in, and you can also do this. Have you seen this? Not insert code. Where is it? It's one of these. Here we go. Insert a suggestion. So what you do is you can go like that, space, and it comes up as a suggestion. And then if I go add single comment, Kush doesn't need to make the change and then push it up all the rest. All she needs to do is accept it, and it will automatically make the commit and change all through the UI. So let's give that a go, Kush. So that's that. That was just I think an auto formatting issue. So this is the interesting piece of work. So if I open this, it always changes when I do. Yeah, it's probably because of the linter. Maybe we just leave it. It's just my preference, I guess, for my Java mind that I prefer having that. But maybe ignore. I don't want to keep having commits where it's just us moving the space and then it automatically gets removed. Maybe ignore. So if I can add a single comment, I'm sure I can just hit resolve, get rid of it, done. See, it's all about learning. So I think it's important that I've learned that there's no point, as much as my personal preference is to have a space there, it's not really needed. So that's fine. Right, this is the important side. So this function does the ping, as we said before. It generates the path from the URL from the project and adds the full URL, gets the URL, the domain from the project and adds the path to it. Then we come down here and we calculate the ping. So we do the ping up here and then we calculate the ping. And what's been added is update monitor with the latest ping information. So you've got monitor, latest ping. Interesting enough, Kush, could this be a dot? Could this be... I'm not a fan of using kind of the array style when it's not an array. If I do a coding suggestion again, could this be done like this? And can I write in here as well? Would this be... I can't even spell. Would this be better? Question mark. It's a question. Again, when you're reviewing someone else's work, it's always a question. It's not, I don't have all the answers. Not everyone has all the answers. People just have kind of preferences and thoughts. So hopefully, I think you can either accept or reject that, if that would work. Latest ping. Yeah, again, the angle brackets for me, it should work. I've got it up here. It does exist. We're not overloading an object or anything. It does exist on the model. So, okay, so we get the ping. We set it to the latest. The ping's been calculated. We set it to the latest. And then update the monitor in the project. So what we do is we get the project collection, we get the document by project ID, and we set the monitors and we merge it. Interesting enough, with that, monitors, I see what you've done there. I think I've been a donut. Wait a second. Have I been a donut? Monitors is an array. You're putting the monitors back in, which is correct. Where did this get updated? Am I missing something? Let me see. Yep, you've got the updated on, which is good. But I think that's not... Was that going to work? Because that wouldn't have been updated, because you've updated the monitor, which we've used. Let me see. So here's the monitor. Oh, right, you are finding the right monitor. So is it by reference? So yes, we found the monitor. See, again, I love this sort of stuff. I'm always learning. So we found the monitor, we were updating that same monitor, and then you're saving it back. So that actually, yeah, probably works. Is there and the update is on the project, which is what we always want to do. Perfect. I think that's great. Awesome. I think that's good. And then done button right, and then disable if the ping is in progress or the current monitor ID is equal to the monitor ID of the loop. I'm guessing we're in a loop. Yes, we are in a loop. We're looping around the monitor. So if the monitor ID, if the item is equal to the current monitor ID, cool. It will be updated as we update monitor by reference. Thank you for clarifying. That's what I thought after I went through it, but I wasn't sure. Reviewing changes in GitHub is great, but then thinking about code, I think it's harder. I prefer it in VS Code where I can kind of click on a well, that doesn't work, but I can click on a variable and it highlights it through the code and makes it a lot easier. So yeah, I think GitHub is easier just to see the differences. So let's have a look. Button right, width 25%. So you just change that from text to button. Okay, component list. Was that the only place it was used? Again, it's hard to see, that probably is. Okay, cool. Does material design have anything like that already built in? Again, I'm not sure, it's just asking. So we've got the current monitor ID. And then we've got if there's a progress, ping progress. Okay, so yeah, this is the bit we were talking about earlier on. So this is quite interesting because I've got some various views on this, but not having done it before, they were just ideas. They weren't, I think it should be done this way. I've got an idea of the way it could be done. So let's have a look and see. So, but again, if you've got ideas, anyone watching, just share your ideas and thoughts. Let me know. I'm pressing that button on the Stream Deck, which is the help button to give me some feedback. Oh, I should put the share and subscribe button, but that's fine. And I've just hit the Twitter button, so I should automatically, a tweet should go out and say we are live. Although it's almost 5 o'clock and you're probably all kind of bored now. Yes, okay. Let's have a look. Can we go back to here? Right. So this is the interesting part. This is the meat of it. Let's have a look. So we've got, we'll ping the monitor. This function will ping the monitor. Perfect. With the monitor ID. Love it. Ping in progress. So this is us tracking if the ping's in progress. You're setting the current monitor to, sorry, the current monitor to the current monitor ID property. Then you're doing calling the ping monitor service. Then you're disabling the ping button for, you've written 1 second. I'm guessing that's 60 seconds. So let me think. So there's a few suggestions that come to mind first, but I'm trying to see if we can reduce the code in some way is what comes to mind. So what I'm thinking, I think the indentation here is slightly not quite right, but that could go to one. I could all go to one line anyway. I think that probably could be read better, something like. But don't make these changes yet, Kush. These are just me thinking out loud, and rather than trying to explain, kind of show. Because I think as it's only one thing happening, you don't need to have the brackets. You could do this, and then that will make it easier to put it on one line, something like that. So preview that, something like that is what I'm thinking, and then. No problem. Don't make any changes yet. Let's discuss this and see what we can work with, because this is an interesting challenge that you've got here. And like I said, I haven't done it before, so I'm quite intrigued by it as well. So let's have a look. And I'm keen to maybe try something slightly different, which might not work. I'm not saying what I might try might be better. It's just a different way of doing it. There's so many ways that things can be coded that there's no right way. And then. A single line might read better. Let's add that comment in just for just so I don't forget. That's my initial thoughts. So what I'm thinking is, let's just check out the server. Let's open this. What I'm going to do, if I go to that branch locally and I want to open it locally. So if I open a new tab in here and go to pipeline dashboard, I think I call it Firebase 2. Don't ask me why, I need to sort that out. And then I've got no changes, so I'm just going to do a pull. I want to pull all the new branches. I think I typed the password in wrong. Got it right. I've now got Kush's branch, and let me just change to that branch and let me open an IDE. Let me open VS Code for that branch. I'll just bring it over to the screen. And let's have a look. I just want to try some new things. Again, I don't know if what I'm saying is better, worse, it's just an idea. VS Code icons detected Angular project restart. Okay. Update now. Shall I update my thing? I get some cool new features. No, I'll update later. Let's just restart it. Okay, so it really wants to update. Update now. It's usually pretty quick at updating. Now, having said that, and I'm on a live stream, I probably busted it. Don't know if you can hear my fans going, my iMac Pro. It's going for it. Okay, cool. So these are the new releases. I'm not going to go through that. That's fine. So we are in, let's have a look. Go back to here. Let's see what files were changed. That one also looked fine. What I like to do is open the files locally, because also the IDE, prompts things as well. It's easy just to see certain things as well. And if you can see the lens, Git lens does these things, which is quite nice. I'm going to close that. Don't need that. It looks fine. Again, this is the file I think we're mostly looking at, which is the file I think we're in. Yes, it is. So let's have a look. Let's go back down to what we were looking. Oh no, we were looking at this before and we spoke about this, and this is fine. So we've got an await on updating the project, and then we've got a returning the promise of adding the ping to the pings collection. So again, that's fine. I was thinking of some other ways this could be done. If you wanted to make the function run faster, you could do it in a promise all. So you could wrap that and that in the promise all and return the promise all. Again, I don't know if it's really worth it. I mean, you're writing to Firebase from Firebase, which is pretty fast. So I think this reads easier, but in the future, for anyone who wants to do anything, then can. Do you use a linting tool? I find I really heavily rely on to keep my code clean, tidy, and I'm still quite new to coding in general. Connor, after 15 years, I still feel like I'm new to coding. I'm just learning all the time, and that's part of the fun. We do use a linter. Kush will know more about this because she tweaked this and made it more strict. One thing I might do is you can set a setting on TSLint, which is set everything to super strict. I tried that and I got like hundreds of errors. So I might do that one day before the project grows too big, but now we've just added what we need. So we do use TSLint in the project. Let me see, where is it? There's one for the functions and there's one for the Angular stuff. So here's so I think here in the rules you can set it to be super strict. But yes, use a linter. Don't let your IDE, let your CI, let everything just all play nicely together. I still miss things locally, and sometimes CI throws me an error and says you've missed something, and so I get a kind of a stupid, I have to do a stupid commit that says fixing the lint issues that I didn't do properly. So it's worth running the lint checker locally before you commit, but we all forget, so don't worry about that. Cool. So I hope that helps, but definitely it's good that you're using it. So many people don't. Even so many people with many years experience don't, and I don't get it. Or they really customize their own custom linter, and I'm just thinking, oh, what's the point? There's so many good rules out there. Just, use the ones that exist. So this looks fine. The next bit we were looking at was, let's have a look. Oh yeah, that was my only question on this file for you, Kush. Again, just to change it to that. And then we were looking at, I think it was this file, wasn't it? Yeah, this one's the interesting one. Awesome. Okay, so I just copy that file and go back to the IDE and open that file. Let's have a look and see. TSLint's deprecated extension and some TSLint configurations. Cool. But don't forget, this project is open source. Let me share it. I have a button for that somewhere. Let me press it. I've pressed it on my Stream Deck. I can't remember if it shares my personal project, my personal GitHub profile, or if it shares the one I'm looking at now. But let me It shares mine, but you'll be able to find it from my GitHub account. What sort of, Connor, what sort of projects are you working with? Are you working with Angular, React, jQuery, Vue? Also Kush, I'm really interested. So Kush works in Firebase and Angular, but I'm really interested in the other projects you do, Kush. Do you use Angular or do you use React or Vue or something else? I never asked you that before, and I think that's quite an interesting one. So, and then also I'd love to pair with some people on this channel or on Code Mortals. We're thinking of pairing. Oh, one thing I've just noticed, this is why I love opening files in VS Code and not just in GitHub, because if you look, I don't know if you can see, these two are grey, not grey, lighter. If you look at line 5 and line 9, it shows these imports aren't used. So at the moment I have an 8.9K, okay, gzip is 2.8, but it's not actually used anywhere. So yeah, we need to kind of reduce that size. However, I will need to tweak things on this file later. So as you can see, we've got, when we're getting the data from the root, we've got to take one. That means the subscription will finish, and any data that gets updated will not update. So what we will need those subscriptions and observables, because we want to keep the real-time stuff alive. And we could do this on that stream actually, because it's something I really want to do, but I never get around to doing it. Maybe I could do it now on the stream. I could do it as a new PR rather than adding it to Kush's, because I don't want to make the PR any bigger, because then she can review mine, which I think is really important. So let's have a quick look. Yeah, so my suggestion was to move this to right now I'm using Python with Flask. Oh yes, you did say Flask. Flask, and what's the other one that people are really talking about? I think it's another Google language. Can't remember. I thought it sounds like Flask, but maybe I'm wrong. I can't think. But yeah, there's lots of good stuff out at the moment, and once you've learned your first and second language and library and framework, the others, the third and fourth, become a lot easier. So let's have a look what we have here. I'll remove these unused imports from this file. Okay, I can make a comment in the PR. Let me have a look. It was in this file. But we will need those imports later. Oh, I can't comment. Because it's not a line you changed. You used to be able to on GitHub. Interesting. I'll leave that to you. I know you'll do a good job. So, which is normal. Happens to me all the time. When you see Kush review my PRs, there's loads of things that I miss as well. Cool. So I already put a comment in about putting this on one line just to make it a bit easier to read. The one thing I wanted to check was this monitor. I can't remember how it was done. So, okay, yeah, so it calls a function and then returns an observable. Okay, so I couldn't remember if we could do anything with that. See, because it returns an observable, I think we could do the debounce on that, could we not? So let me get this project running and let's have a look and see if I break it. I'm sure you've tried this already, Kush. This is more for my own kind of sanity. Let me start the project. So if I just go npm start, I should go into the web directory first and go npm start, and then get the project started, and then we can open it on here. Why didn't it start? What broken? Web directory. Local configuration not found. Am I changing files in the wrong folder? See, this is why you should never have dot name number 2 number 1, because you don't know which one you're working in. Let me just copy that over and don't make the mistakes that I make. I really thought I would have that in there. So web source environments. Do I not have a local? I do have a local. Why is that failing? ngserve, maybe because I haven't used this in a while. npm install. I need to really clear up my kind of coding directory. It's really bad. But yeah, I'm keen to see this debounce. I think I can get it working, Kush. I don't know. I'm probably going to embarrass myself live in front of millions and millions of people. By millions, I kind of mean like the 4 or 5 people that are online here. But yes. But that's how we learn to code. Not learn to code. That's how we get better at coding, is by just trying things out and seeing how it works. So I'm really keen to try this out and see if this works. If I can get the project started. Right, okay. npm start. Don't fail now. Okay, that looks better. Okay, this is obviously an old folder that I haven't used in a while. Okay, so the project will start up and then we can review it in the browser and we'll show you that it works, that for 60 seconds. I might actually quickly change that 60 seconds just for demo purposes now. We'll change it to say 10 seconds just for demo purposes. I won't commit that. And then I want port to I've got other projects running. That is probably why. Okay, ignore that. Okay, let's start it again. Right, what do you reckon? Third time lucky? Let's do it. It's compiling. It's a good start. 10%, better than we did before. Port's not in use. Let's go. Okay, almost there, almost there. Right. If I start again from the beginning, then I can show you the project. Right. Oh, did you see that logo at the beginning is missing? It's because I moved those asset files. Let me log a bug before I forget. Update. Website plus pipeline dashboard with new asset locations, which will be logo / Okay, need to get that sorted. If anyone wants to do that, they're more than welcome to do that. I probably add some more information to that. But just for now, what will I do? This is the project, and yes, the logo up there is missing. Oh, that's what the GitHub logo was for. I did it as an SVG in there. Again, that's also broken. Okay, but yeah, this is the project. So you create your project, and then inside your project, you add repositories. And it shows you the latest release, it shows you the latest milestone, how many open and closed tickets. Again, this is not a sales pitch for my project, so I don't want to go too much into this. But this monitor section is the area we're working at the moment. You've got these manual pings, so ignore all the rest. I mean, I can delete those. They were just me playing with stuff. But I've got root, and what root is, I should probably add a bit more information on here, but it goes to / on the project's URL. So the project URL is under edit. I should probably display that somewhere. It's just the website, and it's going to ping it. So if I hit ping and go in here, the website's in real time, the app's in real time, so it should appear at the top in a second once it completes. There you go, another one's come in. It's saying it took 550 milliseconds, and I'm looking for the error page at the moment. So actually, let's make it pass. I was testing the errors. So if I hit edit, and the error page doesn't exist, so let's just go to /, which is the root of the project. And if I say ping, and if I go into it, we are going to put the latest ping on this page, which I might do on this live stream if you're not all bored. And you can see it's now blue. I should probably change the blue to a green, but it's taken 600 milliseconds, but it was successful. I got 200 rather than a 403 on the previous one. So that's that. And so the work Kush has done was to disable ping for 60 seconds. So look, if I click, I can't keep hammering it. However, I have just noticed if I go forward and come back, the ping becomes available. So that was one thing I was a little bit concerned of, is the component, I guess, destroys itself and reloads itself when you come back. So this probably needs to be kept in a service which doesn't get destroyed, so a singleton is kept. So let's maybe move it to the manual ping of this service. I won't change the code, even though I would like to change it to a debounce. Let me just see if I can get it working and see. So I think, let me just put it all in one line just for easier reading for me and less to move. And then it's 10 seconds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut those two lines out. And I want to go to the service. In here on the, because it returns an observable, right? I'm just checking it does. Dot. Ooh, what am I thinking, Eddie? What am I thinking? Because also we want to limit it for that ping, because or do we want to limit it for all the pings? Because if I limit it for all their pings, they can't hit any other ping, any other if I go back to here, go back to the project, go back to monitors. If I put it in the service, I need to store which ping it was, otherwise it will limit all the pings for that time. Let me put back what it was, just so we can see it as well. So what we say ping in progress, and see, we all struggle. Like I said, 15 years, still struggling, but that's part of the fun. But I need to fix this soon, otherwise I'm going to be here all night just to kind of, get this thinking. So as we move along between pages, it resets itself, and that's normal because the component will get destroyed and rebuilt. So what we need to do is move it into the service. So we do need to move it into the service. So what's the best way to move that into the service? Let me think. This ping in progress needs to be moved to the service. Let's think. The interesting thing is, if I had coded this and wasn't reviewing it, I would have done this the same way, which is quite funny. But reviewing it, you look at it very differently. That's why it's really important to get your work reviewed and to review other people's work. Not only will the work be better, but you look at things very differently. So I'm looking at it differently because I didn't do it. But if I had done it, I probably would have done it the same way as this, which is actually really quite funny. I think that's an important thing to say. I should probably do a video on it, because when people review other people's work, they think they've got the authority or something like that. Not at all. It's just you're looking at it differently. And I love people reviewing my work. That's why I do all my work. And like I said, my startup, Open Source, because I want people to give me that feedback. I want to learn. I want people to look at it differently, because if you haven't done it, you'll definitely look at it differently. So yes, this is all part of the fun. So let's have a look. Right. Any ideas? Who's still online? Who's got some ideas? What have we got? So let me just see. Who have we got online? Who can I ask? Okay, YouTube doesn't tell me who's online, so I can't see. But say hey, write open source if you're still online. I still you're here. Let me think. What can we do? So we want to. This is in the service. And this is in the component. We need to move this to the service, because the service will always know. And then we could have a function in here that says ping progress. So we want and then if I open the relevant HTML as well, you'll see that it's done with disable if the ping is in progress. So if it's something in progress and it matches. So we could maybe make an array of all the pings in progress, because they could go ping, 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 ping all the way down, maybe miss one, but then we want to know it's 60 seconds, okay, 10 seconds while I'm testing it now, but it will be 60 seconds locked for that particular ping. So this is quite an interesting one. Wow, I do like this challenge. I do like a challenge sometimes, especially if you have time to do it. If you haven't got time, then it's not so fun. So what I'm thinking is we create a class variable, not class variable, and we say active or manual pings, active pings, it's manual pings. So let's say manual pings, and it will be, it will just be an ID. I don't think we need to store the whole. Yeah, I think it'll just be an array of strings. I think we just need the IDs, and then we default it to be an array. Having said that. Yeah, because you could do a find, right? We could get it working, then we could tidy it up. I'm trying to think in here. You could always do a function, and it could return true or false. Okay, bear with me. But do jump in the chat if you notice any improvements. So manual pings, a list of IDs that are going. And so what I'm thinking is, each time this does, how do we know it's been 60 seconds? We need a date time. Okay, so what it's going to be is, let me check. Do we have a ping model? Where's the model for pings here? We have one somewhere. Pretty sure we do. We don't. Okay, that's fine. So what I'm thinking is, instead of just storing a string, why don't we store a string with a date? Oh, that doesn't make any sense. What am I doing? 80. It's been a long day. It's going to be the manual pings. I'm still here. but I'm going to have to go some burgers. I have to have burgers, take some care ready. Please do more streams like this. Fun watching you think and come up with ideas. Thanks, Connor. Enjoy the burgers. I really appreciate the feedback. Yeah, I'll do more streams if it is helpful for people to see me struggle and to see how I think about things. And I'd love to get other people to join the streams, not just by the chat. If someone wants to actually pair with me, we could do, I know VS Code allows you to, one of these ones, isn't it? To actually share the control. That's Git Lens, that's not the one. But there is one where you can allow someone else to control the IDE. I'd love to be able to do that, and people can get, I don't know, 30 minutes or an hour, maybe pairing with me on something. I'm open to ideas. Keep the ideas coming. Again, please don't forget to share. Just hit the share button on my stream deck, so it will come up again in the chat. But thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you next time. So again, going back to this, the type could be UID of the ping, and then it would be a date, which would be a date of that, and it would be an array. So I could do that. So it would be an ID with a date. Therefore, for every ping that I want to find, I can find out when it happened. I can check if it happened 60 seconds ago. I hate doing subtraction in JavaScript, like date subtraction, sorry, doing checks. Cool. Let's see. Should we do that? How? Let me think. How's the best way to do it? Because debounce will handle it. What am I doing? If we use debounce will handle it. How can I do a debounce? So I'm returning this, but I don't know what this returns. Let me see. What does this return? HTTPS callable. Come on, highlight and tell me what you return. It does return an observable. So I could do that. Well, it says observable any. So I could put, that is an observable of any. I hate using any, but some situations you have no choice. This is what I was telling you about that plugin that autocompletes. So you're trying to do a generic and it thinks it's HTML. Well, what does that complain now? Let's have a look. The return is observable any. Let me see. Is missing the following properties from type. I love TypeScript. But sometimes when types aren't set on other external libraries properly, it's a bit of a pain. So you have, it expects a generic inside it if you look. So when you call it, it expects a generic. And the first generic is used for the return data. And the second one is used for, I don't know what the second one is used for. Okay, so you would need to put in here a generic as well. Oh, no, not in there. That's wrong. 1 across 1. And then, I mean, if I just put the type any, you won't use any. But I'm trying to think, what do we get back from the ping monitor? I think I closed the function. Do we get something? We get back the promise of the set rather than the ping itself. So we probably want to return the actual value, not that we use it. See, doing something for the first time is always fun and always challenging. So let's have a look. Let's see. My streams with Andrew go so much smoother on Code Mortals because we usually do stuff we've done before, and Andrew just knows his stuff inside out as well. Although I still think my RxJS is better than his, although it's not very good, mine. I need to improve it all the time. So let's have a look and see. Why, that does say add a observable any is missing the following properties from type. Observable any, Scala, source, operator, lift, 6 more. That's useful. Thank you very much. Did you mean to call this expression? Yes. Is it because now this is complaining? Cannot invoke an expression who lacks a call signature, has no compatible call signatures. Because of the any, probably. If I just put a boolean in there, does that work? No. That's going to bug me now. There is something else we can do, which I really don't like to do. If I put this back to what it was. Let's put this to any. I have to fix this. This will bug me otherwise. But if this truly is an observable, which I'm not sure it is, but you could go pipe. Oh, I can't type. Could go pipe. Let me put it on the next line below. Let's have a look. Pipe, and then in the pipe, if we go debounce, but how will it know? We can do debounce time, but my question is, how will it know it's for that particular ping? Because we need, or we could leave the button alone as they keep pressing it. It just doesn't do anything because this will handle it. However, it was not very nice. So I think we definitely need to do something. We need to keep a list of IDs. I'm going back to my original thinking of, we have a list of IDs with the date. We could do an RxJS and do a debounce on each one. Would that work? But then how would you get it? Interesting. Wow. You're seeing a grown man struggle. Or we set this for each one, right? So I guess if I save that, put it back to what it was, and then this, if I just comment this out, right? So this should be back to what it was. And okay, so if I go back to where we were in monitors in the project, and I go ping, and that works, right? It's going to be locked for 10 seconds. Like I said, 10 seconds because I've reduced it just for the demo purposes. And then it should automatically, without pressing, no hands, the ping button should come back. But what happens if I ping another one and then ping this one? It keeps only the latest one. So this is why we need to know which ping it was. Or, again, what are your thoughts? We don't allow people to ping from this page, and they can only ping from inside the monitor that they're in. So now we're inside this page. You could only ping from this page. Therefore, it's less likely you could abuse it. So we can disable that ping button, and then if they navigate to another monitor and hit ping, then they do it. But for them to keep navigating around and trying to abuse it, it's less likely. So we've got a few ideas. I don't want to over-engineer anything. I want to keep things quite simple. So I'm thinking, if we move and even then the edit and the delete button, we could also move all those in the future as well. I think for now we disable all pings. They only get one ping every 60 seconds. Let's go back to the code. Let's keep it simple, right? Okay, so I think we keep what Kush has done and we just remove this, so we don't lock it for that ID. So we say, if there's a ping in progress for 60 seconds, and for test purposes it's 10, just disable it. So I'm just going to rename that variable though. Let me see. So we wouldn't need the current ID anymore because, didn't mean to do that. We wouldn't need the current ID anymore because we're not going to save it. It's just going to be for all of them. So if I save that, and as long as there's one in progress, I just want to rename this though, ping in progress. Ping in progress. Manual ping. Manual ping, set to false when you come to it, and then manual ping up here. Okay, so let's have a look. So now if I go back to the monitors page, if I hit one of them, they both should be disabled. Perfect, right? Brilliant. I think it's really important that they can't then abuse the system. The other issue we do have though, when that comes back in 10 seconds or less than 10 seconds now, I will show you that you could navigate away and come back. And that's just a thing to do. That's just, I guess, a caveat of having component-based frameworks like Angular, React, Vue, and so forth. Look, no hands, I'm not refreshing the page. That should come back. Did I change it to 60 seconds again? Let me just check while that's going. Maybe I did without realizing. It should be 10 seconds. Oh, I did. It doesn't, not setting the right thing back. Right, manual ping. My bad. The page will reload. We'll go back again. Monitors. Ping's happening. Both are disabled for 10 seconds. No hands. it'll come back probably 5, 4, I'm guessing 3, 2, 1, it's come back. I think that's good. But if I hit ping now and navigate away really quickly and come back, the button will be active again, which I think is bad. So if I click it, go into one of the monitors, come back, the button's all active. Not the end of the world, I don't think. There's no point over engineering it. It's not the end of the world because if they really want to navigate away and forward and backwards to do more pings, being all of them disabled as well, it makes it less open for abuse. So I think that's fine. Let me go get my terminal up here, or I can even see the changes in here. So package lock, discard, don't need that. Discard changes, yes, discard. So monitor service, what did I change? I commented that out, and that was it. And that I don't want, so discard. Then in the HTML, I changed this. I will, and then in here, I removed that and renamed it to manual ping. So Kush, if you're happy, I'm going to push this up to your PR, and then if you can just review this commit. I mean, while I'm here, I can remove this as well if you want to, just to save you doing another commit on top. I can just remove the unused includes. So let me do that. I'm going to do the proper commit way, which is for pings area. So in the brackets you write, at the beginning you write feature, fix, docs. There's a few lists of like 12 different things. In the brackets is more custom to your project, and you can do I do it for modules. So is it projects, monitors, pings? In this case, pings. The ticket number, which is 1359, and just say all pings are disabled during manual. Or it's too long now. So all pings are disabled. When running, that won't fit either. When running, 4 characters over. When active, 3 characters over. That's not working very well. All pings are disabled. That's fine. We all know what that means. Right. So if I commit that, would you like to automatically stage all your changes? Always. Perfect. And if I push this up, we were doing it in the terminal, weren't we? Where's my terminal gone? Git push origin. I have to specify where I'm going. Origin is GitHub, and I want to push to Kush's branch. So Kush, I hope you don't mind. Oh, password wrong. I'm just checking the password whilst doing something. So I'll just put a comment in and say, so if I go back to the pull request and refresh it, and then you'll see, did I change that one? Doesn't say out of date. I should have changed that in mine, which is really stupid, because then it could have. It's just commit suggestion. I don't know, let's just click that and see what happens. Does it do it? Guessing it does. Now it marks it as out of date. Okay, I've resolved that. Yeah, that's good to me, cool. Well, I'll let you review it properly, but the changes I made are lock it for all of them, so they all get disabled. I don't check about the ID, and I just renamed that, and I put that on one line. Yeah, I think that's simple enough. I think to do anything more would just overcomplicate it, and for now it's not needed. So I think that's good. So I'm happy with that. If you're happy with that, just give me a thumbs up in the pull request. If anyone else would like to take a look, I can share it in the chat as well. And yeah, the next piece of work that is going to get done will look quite interesting actually. So if I just maybe talk a bit about that, the next one we've got is is it this one? Let me check. Latest ping, total pings. It's to store a bit more of aggregation in the monitor as well. So I know that the latest ping has already been done, but then I thought maybe stored the first ping. Probably not needed actually. You know what? Scrub that first ping. It's more for the date of when it started, but nah, forget that. Ignore that. That was done as part of the other one. So done in 1359, I think it was. But what we also want to add is an incrementer to add a counter. Just keep every time a ping happens. If it's successful, add the increment, the success pings. If it's unsuccessful, add the unsuccessful pings. And then update monitor list to update in real time. Let me add one more thing. And I'll explain what I mean by that. Monitor list to show latest ping and total pings. So what I mean by that is in here, when you've got the, let me go back to the pings page. When you go to here, it'd be really nice to show latest ping successful, took 300 milliseconds. And then there are 4, hopefully you can see my mouse on my screen. And then I'm drawing kind of along the lines, well, virtually drawing. Here you can say 400 successful pings, 10 unsuccessful, and stuff like that. So that's what I'm thinking we can do. So that's what that ticket is for. And then we need to update it in real time. So to do that, I did that for the pings components. It'd be very similar actually, but just to show you on the pings list. So what we do on the pings list is we grab the data from the resolve, so the page doesn't load when it hasn't got data, because otherwise you get a blank page. Not a blank page, you get the page and then data suddenly comes in and I think it looks a bit odd. So we have a resolve that doesn't load the page until it's got the data, but then that data connection is killed, so as data gets updated, you never get any new data. So what I did on the tokens component is I find all the data, and then I re-add it, but I keep that alive. So maybe there's less of a need for a resolve. We could always remove that, keep it simpler. I'm open to suggestions and thoughts. People give me your feedback, and but then it keeps it alive. And I can even as you saw that earlier on, I don't know if I can show you about that, but you saw that. So if I go into here, the latest one was 6 minutes ago. But if I go back and I hit ping and navigate really quickly, he says, it came in too quickly. So you couldn't see the page load and then it come in afterwards. But basically, if I had come to this page and this wasn't here, it would automatically load in. So it's important to kind of keep it live. Whereas on this one, we get the data from the root, which is really nice, which is great, but that's it. No more data will come in. And at the moment, on the monitors page, it doesn't cause a problem because the chances are of a monitor updating on this page at the moment is probably going to be updated by me. So I'm going to hit edit and I'm going to say, okay, it's the home page or something like that. So it, I'm saving that, that's not working. That's not good. Have I busted? Let's go to the inspector and find out. Oh, that's because of the images. I renamed the images, so ignore those. Let me refresh and start again. I did rename the images. Maybe that is causing a problem. So, and then we've got some responsive issues that we need to figure out as well on design, but we're not spending too much time on that. So I want to rename that to home. And if I hit save, oh, it did save that time. No idea why it didn't work. So the chances of something updating this page are quite slim. But when we have the summary information, like the latest ping, and the pings are running every 60 minutes, that could update. Someone could leave this page open, that could update. So that's why we would need that real time back in. And then we'd also want to bring the ping information to the dashboard page as well later on as well. So you're not just seeing what events are happening, you're not just seeing issues, you can also see the ping, maybe a list of environments and pings. Haven't really thought about how we do that yet, but that's the idea. So we've reviewed a pull request. It's gone green on CI, so it's happy. Kush, if you're happy with my changes, let me know. I'll merge your PR. I think it's good. I just made some very minor tweaks. Add my review. I'm happy if you're happy. So approve. Looks good to me. Submit. And then the other point of this stream was for me to review. Another developer's committed 2 PRs. I need to review those, but I think I might have to wait till tomorrow morning because they're quite big. And they're stuff that I don't know about so much. So it's more in the cloud functions and working with GitHub's API as well. So like I made a suggestion here, I had a quick scan over and I made a suggestion here, like we're using awaits. So there is an await somewhere up here I saw. Where is it? let's see, we have got awaits in this, but then it's also using the then, so it's just to keep it consistent. So that was just something I noticed. And yes, there's a lot of stuff I need to go through on this. And yeah, it's not easy, it's hard. Anyone who says coding is easy is lying, but it is fun and the community is great, and I just love working with all these people. I wish I didn't have to sleep, because then I could, well, not just code more, but work with all of you more. I find it really, really, really interesting. So yeah, but let me know what you thought of my stream. Let me know what you want to go over in the future. Tomorrow, I don't think I have a live stream I don't think I have time to live stream the review of this PR, but I have to review this PR tomorrow. So Misha, I think it's Misha you pronounce your name. These are your PRs, and if you're watching, really, really sorry I didn't get around to it again. I think it's because your PRs are bigger that I always kind of get around to them slower. So we're going to try and keep them small, but I know you had big pieces of work and sometimes that's not possible. Oh, I noticed something else there. Console log. Console log question mark. Oh, you can't see this. Let me switch back to my screen and you can see what I'm talking about. So we have console log question mark. We have logger if you want to log anything. I think it's just called logger. I think it's in the clients directory as well. Let me just check. I go into functions, and then yeah, in the clients directory, I could put client logger. There we go. So I need to give this a proper review. I don't think I have, so I feel really, really bad. But I think that's it for me today. How long have we been streaming for? It's been quite a while, so I think we should call it a day. I think you should all go have a break. Wherever you are in the world, ahead of time, it's probably dinner time. If you're behind, it's probably lunchtime. For me, it's kind of in the middle, time to start cooking dinner. So thank you all so much for joining, and I'd love to get your feedback, your thoughts, what you thought was this useful, what did you enjoy, and what you would like to see more. Don't forget to also subscribe to our Code Mortals channel, where we want to do more live streaming with other people. Actually, I must give a shout out not only to everyone on the stream, but also Code Mortals are doing a live stream on Wednesday at 6:30 UK time, and we're streaming with not one, not two, but 3 recruiters. Recruiters, yes. Recruiters hate developers. Developers hate recruiters, but we're going to try and build that bridge, try and see how we can get you a job, get you a better job, how we can get recruiters to help us more rather than fight against us, and so forth. So we did have a chat with them on my channel a couple of months ago, and we had some technical issues. We ended up streaming from my phone, so it wasn't that great, the audio wasn't great, but now we've solved that. We're going to have microphones. We're going to each, not one shared, and microphones each. We're going to have multiple big cameras, so therefore a much better view of what's going on. Check out our last live stream on Code Mortals, or the one before. You'll see it was a lot better, where we had 4 new developers on that live stream, and that was great. So we did have some technical issues, as always, but we are getting better each time. So don't forget to subscribe to that channel to get notified, and I look forward to seeing you in more future streams. If you have any questions, if I didn't answer anything, I missed any of your questions, just put a comment in this video or in another video, and I will get notified and I'll come and answer. Please don't ask me privately, because I want the community to be able to see the question and answer, because they're probably thinking the same thing, but also they might be able to give you a better answer than I can. I do not have all the answers, but I'm happy to share from my experience and what I know, and as much as I can. Maybe I can connect you with somebody who does know. Have a great weekend, everyone, and I'll catch you soon.